So I've got this adjusted to where I think it's going to be correct, but we won't know till we go to the sample piece, and we'll have to make whatever adjustments. If we need to make an adjustment, we just loosen these, slide it a little that way or a little this way, depending on whether the binding is hitting the pothole or where we want it. So now we're going to load this thing. This thing goes like this, and it goes like that, and it depends on how much binding fabric you've got. Like if you wanted to run it that way in the back, then you would throw this thing a little farther that way, or you pull it forward and you pull it this way, and it does. So you want the right side to be facing away from you. And I like to start at this side. The reason is I like to go here knowing I'm going to stuff it in and then weave it through these loops like this. That way I already know that when I go to tuck it, this piece is where I wanted it to be. If you prefer, you can do it the other way. You can have it go behind, and then you can go behind, and then you would just go like this and like that, and this way and that way.
Is that just trial and error?
It's your decision on how you feel. So then you have to take this and you have to feed it through. So you go like this and you take it and you try and get it to where it's showing up here, and you tuck it and pull it, right? Now you'll need to make sure that it stays centered. And then you're still going to do that same thing. You're going to pull it through here, and when it reaches here, you start to pull it this way with the pointy object. And it pulls through. You'll see you might have to make a little adjustment, but it just pulls through, and it automatically starts folding it the way it needs to be folded. As you'll see as I continue to pull long, it's starting to make the binding fold. What I do, and there's no right or wrong, but I make sure that it's doing that, because if it doesn't fold here, it's not going to fold when we get to the thing. So I like to pull enough to make it to it's actually doing it. That way I'm usually farther out than when you're starting. And now you have to tuck this thing in as tight as you can to the binder. Now, as you can already see, that needle's not going to hit the binding. So I have to adjust it. I have to move this closer so that it actually goes to, oops, a little far, but so that it actually is going to hit that binding fabric onto the thing. That's why you have to readjust and make the adjustments till you are sure you got it where you go. Now, I like to take a zigzag stitch because I like a zigzag stitch. That one's too long. There we go. I'm going to tighten it up because I like a tight zigzag.
Did you want that on film?
No, I'm just tightening up the thing, and I think that people know they can make the stitch whatever width and tightness that they want to go with that. So I'm not the one that makes the decisions on... I hit the wrong button. Okay. I messed up on that. This was what I wanted to hit, and I didn't hit it right. So what the hell's going on? I'm going to change the stitch back. There we go. Reset it. It's back. Now, I like a tighter stitch on the zigzag. I like a zigzag stitch. And that's what I use, but you can use whatever stitch you want. And you need to make sure that it's going to hit, the needle's going to hit the binding. Now, okay, and we've reached a problem. So we're going to pause. So I've determined that I was a stupid fuck, and I used the foot that doesn't do a zigzag stitch. So this foot here has the room to zig and zag, and that was my error. So I broke the needle, replaced the needle, and now we're back in business. But I had to take this off because you can't get to this without taking this off. So we're starting sort of at front one. Just click that foot in. No big deal. Then I rethreaded, and you can do that for yourself. Now we're going to have to find the little hole. It clicks in place. We do this one tight so that it doesn't move. We've got that thing threaded, and we're pulling it through the teeth here. It has to go through those teeth here. Both ends. So that it's making the binding, as you can see how it's doing that. It's folding it all in nicely. It's folding it in here and then folding it in half there so that the binding's nice. Now, I don't usually start at the corner, and the reason why is because corners are hard. And usually you got to do 3, you have to do rounded corners with this. I don't know how to do pointy corners with this, but there's probably a way, and there's probably a video that does it better than I do. So now we tuck this in, the whole binding thing. This is just a piece of junk potholder-ish shape that I made real quick, so it's not quilted in any kind of way, and it's just ready. But I do like to have that edge sewn here. That keeps this together, the sandwich tight. And I tuck it in as tight as I can here. And I'm pulling it through, and I like to start midway here a little bit, because then I'll trim it later and do the corner at the end. That's just how I do it. If you can do a corner, you can do a corner, or you practice, or you figured it out, or you watched another video, good for you. Now, I'm not sure if I'm happy with how over it is. I'm going to move it over a little more so that I know that it's hitting the zigzag spot here, right? I want it to stay on the binding and zigzag. So I loosened it, I tightened it, now I'm ready to rumba. And we just go. And as we're going, it's feeding, but you might want to need to make sure it's under that footing, right? It's not going there just yet, so might want to get your pointy object to get it to go under that flange, or otherwise it's gonna buckle on you. And so it's really kind of contrived, but once you get it working, and it works, it's actually a pretty great little tool. This thing came loose, click it back in place, and we're going again. So it's feeding itself. I'm just sort of guiding it. I'm holding this as tight as I can to this edging. And if I don't like where it's landing, like if I wanted it to right at if you can look at behind here, and if you wanted it to go overlap, then move it a little this way, move it till it's hitting where you want the full zigzag. That's why we always do a sample before we do the actual item, so that you know that it's all adjusted and ready to go exactly how you want it. If you wanted the stitching tighter, or you wanted the stitching longer, whatever you do, now is the time to fix it on the sample. And I'm doing it. Here we go. And we keep it as tight as we can to this apparatus, and it is feeding, but I'm also guiding, and I'm making sure it stays under that stupid footing plate. See, it's like, what the hell? And then it sometimes does, because I'm having this little bit of issue, it's not adjusting exactly like I like it. I might have to move it a little more that way so it stays under the flange.
But this is the practice piece, so now's the time.
Right, I might want to push it just a little bit farther over so this foot heats down. Otherwise, we're having problems. And problems aren't good. The stitching width and stuff is uneven. As you can see here, the stitching is uneven. It's not flat and even. So, because I'm fucking around and it's not in exactly the spot I wanted, or I'll slow it down from the thing. But anyway, I've moved it farther because I don't like that this flange keeps coming up. And I go slower with usually I go slower with the stitching, and I'm fucking going fast. But when we get to the corners, this is why I don't use this stupid apparatus, and I like to do the bottom is larger, and I just fold, and do the top part. I like doing that because it's just so much more easy than this. But if you get a lot of practice in, it can really look nice, and it's kind of cool. But now we're doing that painful corner. And so it's a lot of muscling that piece in. So it's for sure getting caught in the binding. Okay. It's like,
so you're manhandling it.
I sure am, and I'm not happy with the result because I haven't done this in a long time, because I just make it, I usually do longer on the one side. So, look over here. See what's happening? That's why it's a problem. You have to keep watching everything. It's every damn thing.
Oops.
So if this isn't staying flat and even either, it's not going to fold right when it gets into the folding thing. So I don't know why it did that. I wasn't watching. I might have hit it and it might have crunched down and then I didn't notice. Whatever happens, you've definitely got to watch that it goes in and makes that fold that you want it to do correctly, and it's still not quite doing it. There. So we'll go backwards. See if we can fix that at the far end here. Otherwise, you cut it and you gotta fix it. And you start all over and you still keep practicing. There we go. It's not folding this way right. It's because it didn't fold right, as we can see here on the underside. It happened over here when I didn't see it yet. On the bottom, you kind of got to look there, and that's probably why we're having a problem. Suddenly, this flap flapped this way. And so now it's still binding, but it's flapped the wrong side. So now we got that deal going on. And handy. So I'm going to cut it there so that it'll fold the right way, right? Or hoping that it will. And it still isn't.
Good video. It's showing you all the mistakes that can
It's showing you
happen.
why I didn't make this video sooner. Why, oh, did I ever leave Ohio? I don't like that. And because it crunched and the ironing kind of got crunched, so now it doesn't want to fold the way we want it to fold.
Do you need to iron it again?
Well, probably, but this is just a demo. Also, I like it to go the other zig way, and I didn't put it back to the way I like, so let's see if that makes a difference, but probably not. It's a pain in the ass is what it is. Once you've played with it enough, it stops being a pain in the ass and starts being a pretty neat tool. But I haven't played with it in a long time, and so...
Well, let's face it. Binding is a pain in the ass.
It is, but not if you do the big side on the bottom and you just flip, and sew it. Then the bottom is a smooth one piece, and you know that you caught the top because you're looking at it, and you don't have to worry about did you catch the bottom. And so that's the reason why I do that. I make an oversized bottom, and I flip it to be the binding. It's very simple for me, and I like less hassle. I just happen to be that way, and I've not got the patience I used to have for this. As we've mentioned, you gotta wanna. There we go. Now, as you can see, it's now folding the correct way back.
Up and down, and okay. And she's adjusting the placement.
And we're just gonna start on this side because this is not for real. Since it's not for real, I can just do it again. Damn it all. I hope it's still folding on the bottom. Okay, it is. All right, here we go. I'll go slower. Slower could be the key to the success of this sometimes. It is kind of buckling, and I don't know why, and why it has to be not under these flanges, but it is still folding on the bottom here, so we're going to keep on keeping on. Come on.
I'm sorry, Jackie. I'm still filming. I know you want me out of here.
Just right. But it takes a little bit to getting it just right. And every piece is different, so the adjustment won't be the same on the next one either. Now this one top is not doing it. Now the top is not doing it because we didn't pay attention, and this thing happened again.
Oh no!
So that's my educational video for you as to why it took me more than a year to show you how to do this, because it does look nice when you get the stitching even and you figured it out and it doesn't fold up right away. I'm going to just cut this right here and show you why we don't do this. Why I don't do it. But this one here did a little better. You can see that it never folded back up on the bottom. And then it just started to fold up on the top. And I probably could have fixed it, but for this. So
But for what?
This
For that,
is
over
the
there.
thing there.
Okay.
It's not holding it flat, and it needs to.
Whoops.
It really needs to. Needs to be away, print that way, and like this, and like this, and it needs to stay smooth over on this end. So really, it's more watching on all sides. So I've failed to do what I have to do to make it do what it needs to do. If I had, I keep watching.